Hi. So in this video, we'll be discussing again the calculation of the squares. In the previous video, we discussed that how to calculate the squares of the numbers closer to 50. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the method to calculate the squares of the numbers closer to 100. Let's see. Now, the first few steps will remain same here. We'll have to choose the base, square the base, then remove the last two digits of the answer and take the difference of your number in the base, like we did in the previous video. Now, since we are calculating the squares of the numbers closer to 100, so in this case, your base will become 100. What's the next step? Square the base. That means I'll square it. When you square this 100 square, what do you get? You get 10,000. Third step says that remove the last two digits of the answer. Now, remove the last two digits of the answer means I'll remove these two zeros. So after that, I'll be left with 100. Fine. What's the fourth step? Take the difference of your number and base. What's the base here? Your base is 100. Now let's take a number closer to 100. Let's say in the range of 90s. If I choose my number as 97, I want to calculate the square of 97. Now the base will remain same, that is 100. You square it and you'll be left with this 100. Again, your answer will be in two parts, like we did in the previous video. Now, this 97 is how much less than or more than your base. That means step number four. Take the difference of your number and base. So, the difference of 197 would be equal to 3. So, the second part of the answer becomes what? 3 square. Again, you'll get the answer in two parts. Second part of the answer will be the difference of square of the difference of that number and base. Now, let's look at the first part. In the case of the numbers closer to 50, we were left with 25, but here we are left with 100. So I'll be writing 100 here and I'll write plus or minus depending on the number. Now look at your number 97. It's more than base or less than base? It's simply less than base. How much? 3. Since it is less than base, I'll put a minus sign here. It's how much less than base? It's 3. So I'll not subtract 3 here. I'll have to subtract double of 3 because we have double the base here. In the previous video, I said that base is 50, but here I've doubled the base. That's why whatever you'll add or subtract here should be doubled first. Now let's look at the answer. 3 square will give you 9. But we know that the second part of the answer should be of two digits. So instead of 9, I'll write 09. What's the first part? 100 minus 6. That gives you 94. So the answer will become 9409. I hope this is clear. Let's take one more example. Let's say my number is 94. I want to calculate the square of this 94. Again, you get your answer in two parts. Then 94 is how much less than 100? It's 6. So second part of the answer becomes 6 square. What about the first part? I'll be using this 100 here. I'll write 100 plus or minus depending on your number. Since your number is less than 100, we'll put a minus sign here. Now you need to subtract what? 94 is how much less than your base? 6. So you put 6 here, but you won't subtract 6 here. You'll have to double it first. That is double of 6. So what's the answer? 6 square will give you 36, which already is a two-digit number. 100 minus 12 will give you 88. So the final answer becomes 8836. So we've taken the case when the numbers were less than 100. Let's take a case when the numbers are more than 100. Let's take few more examples. Let's say my number is 1. My number is 108. I want to calculate the square of 108. Now, what was the first step? Choose your base, that is 100. When you square it, you'll get 10,000. When you remove the last two digits, you'll be left with 100 again here. Now, the fourth step, take the difference of your number and the base. What was the base? 100. Difference of 100 and 108 is 8. So, second part of the answer becomes 8 square. What about the first part? I'll say 100 plus or minus. Here, your number is more than base. That's why we'll put a plus sign here. It's how much more than base? 8. So put 8 here. Or double of 8? Double of 8. Now what's the answer? 8 square will give you 64, while the first part will be 100 plus double of 8. So it becomes 116. So what's the answer? 11664. Let's say a number is 103 square. So let's put it directly. Second part of the answer becomes 3 square. First part 100 plus or minus. It's plus. Double of 3. So what's the final answer? It's 10609. Let's take a bigger number. 112. The first few steps will remain same. You'll choose your base. That will remain same. Now, a number 112 is how much more than 100? It's 12. So, second part of the answer becomes 12 square. What about the first part? 100 plus double of 12. So, what's the answer? This will give you 144. Fine. What about the first part? 100 plus 24. That is 124. So, the answer is not 124144 because we know that second part of the answer should be of two digits only. So, instead of 144, I'll only write 44 here. This 1 will be carried over. So this 124 will become 125. So what's the answer? 12544. I hope this is clear to everyone. Thank you very much for watching this video.